everybody. Welcome to What Drives Us, episode 465 for August 31st, 2022. My name is Russell Frost, broadcasting direct into your car, home, AirPods, whatever it is, from the sizzling bottom left corner of America. It's a mere 90 degrees right now. So if I appear to be perspiring, no, I'm sweating like a pig. Yeah, I am. Let me introduce these fine panelists who aren't sweating and live in normal climates. And we got a lot of news. Yeah, that's true. We got a lot of news to cover. So my friend in the one place probably hotter than me, although who knows, could be Paul, it could be Patrick, Georgia McKenzie.
Hey everybody, it is a balmy 99 up here. So since we all need sweaters because it's sweater weather, we're doing pretty well.
Just for the record, I drove to La Jolla so my wife could pick up 2 down jackets today.
It must be on sale.
They were on a very good sale. Yes, they were. So,
Let's thinking ahead.
Why does anyone need a down jacket in Southern California?
Oh, it gets chilly here.
Yeah, right.
They go north for the excitement to come up to Tahoe. Or if there's a Tahoe-esque place somewhere down there, they go there and they roll around in the snow a little bit and they ski a little bit and they go, oh, phew, we've dealt with winter. And then they go back to their warm, sunny places.
That's we're going to be in the Sierras in October. So, for those 3 days, we'll need puffy coats.
You need a down jacket.
I have one. Mine says Toyota, so you know where it came from. Speaking of where the weather is always balmy and beautiful, my friend in the Great White North, Mr. Mark Coughlin.
Well, it is definitely not 99 degrees as the sun sets here in Southern Ontario. And boy, am I happy that's the case.
You're missing out, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to miss out on that, let me tell you. But welcome to the show. We got a whole bunch of news, so let's get going.
We do. And, there's Casey Green. Oh, Casey Green, not while you're driving, Casey Green.
I'm not driving. I'm at a random truck stop gas station thing. I'm 8 miles down the road from where I planned to be because the road, like half the road was closed, and then all of the exits were closed, even though they had the cutovers back to the correct side of the road.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, live from his Tesla Model X, apparently near a subway somewhere, Mr. Casey Green.
Yes,
with a baby.
With a baby. Hello, Moto. We're in Spencer, South Dakota at the moment. So anybody who tells you can't do drop of the hat 2,000-mile journeys in an EV is a liar. They're just assuming that they can't because they think it takes forever.
Why would you go to South Dakota?
More on that later.
Dakota was busy.
The first part. North Dakota was busy. Yes. The first part of all of the why is just to prove that you can do drop of the hat trips. But there's a lot more coming in the future on that.
Please.
It's because North Dakota is full.
Yeah.
Have you heard this place called Minot, North Dakota? Yeah.
Please tell me, Casey, you're going to buy a missile silo and live in it.
That would be awesome. But have you heard?
No, that's going to be me.
Right? Have you heard of this place called Minot, North Dakota in the wintertime? Yeah, North Dakota wasn't on the menu.
No. As well, it
be a
should
nice steady temperature in that missile silo.
Resident. You have to spend one night every 5 years to become a South Dakota resident and get all the tax breaks.
Facts.
Wow. Just one night every 5 years.
Yep.
Wow.
One night every 5 years, yep.
And
It's
honestly,
like they aren't convinced that they're attractive.
that's a huge sacrifice, really, as it is. Let's be clear about that. And I like South Dakota. I've been there a couple times. It's fine. Sioux Falls is pretty. The Badlands, the grasslands are wonderful. It's a beautiful state.
You can see 4 dead dudes on a mountain, like their heads.
Oh, yeah.
That is.
So for those that aren't familiar, I'm talking about the 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore.
He is indeed.
Not how they're regularly referred to. It's
those 4 dudes
on a mountain.
For a second, I was very, very worried about where Casey was doing.
I thought about that for a second. I'm like, I'm in the middle of nowhere. That's probably a really bad intro. Let me tell them what it is.
Yeah.
Well, last but not least, again, what I'm sure it looks like a beautiful day in Boulder, Colorado, the owner and founder of Boulder Hybrids, Mr. Paul Guzik.
Hey, glad to be back. I was away for a bit, but let's get the show on the road.
Let's go.
Maybe I can come visit you on the way back around. We'll see.
There we go. Well, Casey, thank you so much for joining us on the road. I appreciate that. And it's that much more exciting from South Dakota. Are you allowed to reveal where in South Dakota you are?
Yeah, I'm at a rest stop at the exit for Spencer, South Dakota, 431st Avenue.
I don't. Spencer.
And they have a
It's
subway
not really a
there.
rest stop, it's just a gas station with a subway. Yeah. They had a sign like
subway?
cars and RVs as if it was a real rest stop, but it's not.
Do they have a charger?
I'm gonna
They
look
don't.
that
They don't.
up.
I'm currently 22 minutes from the next charger. I did the Tesla life on the previous charger.
He's got
So
the
our
full
first-
charge.
I'm at 79% because the speed limit was 80 for some reason, so I did it.
Okay, nice.
There's no other
You are
car.
law-abiding.
It's a good thing to be
Okay.
in South Dakota.
Yeah, I think I need a balance because if I do 80, 85 miles an hour, I get a shake. So I just put it back down to 80.
Yeah,
smooth.
you just take your
You
time
can't go
and
that
be
fast.
safe.
You can't go that fast in Virginia without putting your license in jeopardy.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Jeopardy, a company we've reported on over the years, more numerous times than I can count, arcimoto seems to be going through some really rough times. We reported last week before last, I guess, the CEO, Mark Frohnmeyer, super nice guy, is stepping back, and they have a new CEO that's going to take over. Otherwise, previously high up in the company, so this wasn't like, oh, there's nobody left, and they found someone involved in arcimoto who's going to take it moving forward. But the stock has taken a noticeable dip, and this presents either the death knell, the swan song of a potential EV company, or, as some of our panelists might point out, an interesting buying opportunity. And the one that I was pointed at didn't even take the bait. Thank you.
I would say buying opportunity for a company. We're just a bunch of dudes and a gal on the internet, so don't take us for stock advice. But personally, if you're really good at what you do, you could stand to make some money on that as well. But I can't advise you to try it unless that's something you already do.
I did buy a little bit. We'll see how it goes.
Did you? Well,
not a
good
lot,
luck, Patrick.
Yeah.
I still don't get it. Like at the price they
fun.
charge, I don't understand the use for the vehicle. But if it was cheaper, it makes perfect sense for so many things you could do with it.
I've driven them a few times, and they're a lot of fun.
It looks like fun. It's just I don't know who can spend almost 40 grand for it for the stuff that it can do.
25.
Yeah, it's not 40.
25? I thought it was 30 and change, and then you had some brakes.
No,
it's 25. You can get a nice one for 25. I mean, and maybe their Roadster or whatever may be more expensive.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was the Roadster.
Yeah.
Even at 25, though, I mean, you're exposed to the elements. Your cargo, if you're doing food delivery, is gonna get cold. I don't know. It looks like fun. Is the only thing that I understand about it.
I think I've said those. Yeah, I agree 100%, Casey. So that's it. It happens. We've seen them come. We've seen them go. We, we said goodbye to Aptera. Boom, Aptera is back. And are they going to keep going? We hope so. I mean,
hopefully
it's a local company. Yeah, but
at least get it launched and start selling them. Let's.
They
not,
are. They're selling them now. They're still at low volume. They have a factory they call the AMP where they're ramping up production there. They've been working with Monroe and Associates. So Sandy Monroe, they were a customer of his, and so he made lots of suggestions to improve manufacturability of the vehicle.
They can make it good and cheap.
Right, exactly.
Still less expensive than they were anyway.
Don't underestimate the fact that a lot of times we're not the only ones who do fire sale purchases. Some people will scoop up the technology, possibly even the personnel, and roll
Speaking
it
of fire sale,
something else.
totally tangential. I drove past Lordstown Motors, so it had the the Foxconn, like the sign already said Foxconn, ghost town. I saw one Avalon in the parking lot. Looked like somebody was doing office work, but there was nothing in the parking lot. Similar situation. Fire sale. Sorry, continue.
It didn't say Foxconn Motors on the side.
It said Foxconn. Where it used to say Lordstown, where it used to say General Motors. Now it says Foxconn. A lot more colors than either of the other two used.
Wow.
I think they've got 3 colors.
Crazy. Well, we won't I'm certainly not gloating about it. Don't think that if I'm speaking with enthusiasm, I'm happy about it. It makes me sad, even though I agree with Casey that they didn't manage to establish their value proposition very strongly. It's a cool, small size electric vehicle that had a lot going for it. And in certain places, it'd be a great way to get around. Obviously, they didn't make that, So maybe somebody will swoop in and save them. You know what? So. The next story I have is Mark or Patrick. Do either one of you want to talk about the VW and Mercedes deal?
I'll talk a little bit about it. Patrick can join in if he likes.
Go for it, Mark.
Mark Coughlin, if you would, please.
Volkswagen and Mercedes-Benz has signed a raw materials deal with Canada. And it seems that this is not the first raw materials deal being signed recently since the Biden administration passed their new bill for, what is it, inflation?
The IRA, Inflation Reduction Act.
Inflation Reduction Act, not really much to do with EVs, but the EV mandate is in there. The federal credit that they're going to be providing, and the rules and regulations about who qualifies, what EVs, what companies qualify for those credits. And of course, what has moved people to start to invest in deals in Canada and the United States has been the requirements of that new bill, that a certain amount of minerals are sourced within North America, that they're assembled in North America, and the percentage of what is brought in from foreign countries. So it's a long list of what has to be done, and it's going to change from year to year. It's going to be a 10-year deal that the tax credit is going to be available, but it's allowing some companies to get involved with it early. So some of the stipulations aren't in place yet. They're going to be grandfathered in year after year after year. And what the whole thing is designed to do, the whole bill is designed to do, is to bring back some extra manufacturing and purchase of raw materials back to the U.S., North America as a whole. So this deal by Volkswagen and Mercedes, where they're signing a deal for lithium, nickel, and cobalt, will allow them to start to qualify for some of these federal credits on EVs going forward. Since they're going to be sourcing them from Canada, Canada is a free trade partner with the United States, and therefore it qualifies for the percentage of North American mined minerals that will be inside of the battery packs. So we're starting to see this with a number of countries as European companies are signing up to these things. There's also been announcements from, I believe it was Hyundai, is speeding up their building of a plant in the United States. And others have indicated that the operations that they currently have in North America, they're investing to double or triple its size. So hopefully this is going to bring back some jobs to North America, and hopefully the bill is going to work the way that's intended to work, to entice companies that are outside of American shores to come back or to increase production within the country. So
that the Foxconn plant might not be empty for long.
Right. So the term that's being given now is onshoring instead of offshoring. So this is part of that story, and I've been seeing in the news over the past week that the bill's passed that more and more companies are following this trend. So it looks in the early days that it's starting to affect the needle.
Right. I added this story. I thought it was really interesting how this major law that was passed in the US, Canada could end up being one of the big winners out of this. Because, as you said, Mark, the minerals have to come from America, the US, or a free trade partner. And if you want nickel, cobalt, copper, I mean, there's lithium. Canada's got all of that. Yeah, and so Canada could end up being a big winner from the IRA.
On top of the fact they were already pretty integrated in our auto industry, so now they just kind of gripped it a little tighter.
Right.
Well,
that's what we do. We sneak up and we grip it tighter.
I can't argue with that. Nor will I. Well, thank you so much for that, Mark. We'll see what happens. Hopefully the IRA will bring some jobs, and those jobs will be making something that's a little bit better for the environment than stuff that we've been making previously. That would be a step in the right direction. Speaking of making exciting new products, both Georgia and Casey want to talk about a new partnership between Polestar, an EV company we've talked about, and a company that I've never heard of, but wait for it, folks. Georgia, Casey, who would like to go first?
Georgia, go first.
We're going to have to fight. We're going to have to fight to the death. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to fight to the death, but you can start because my notes are on the phone.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. So Candela and Polestar are teaming up in a battery deal to ramp up production of flying electric boats. That's right. Once again, my fondness for the weird vehicles.
Is it a flying boat called an airplane?
No, this is the hydrofoil that we talked about.
You're ruining it. This is a real fly land mobile thing.
Not land.
It's the Candela T8. Well, yeah, it's got a little bit of, it's got some electric boat, and it's got a little bit of flight. It's, hey,
yeah,
I think we need to see a picture.
I'm working on that right now.
Okay. If you get on land, it's total.
Yeah.
Share screen.
It just makes you wonder what the heck.
There we go. So first, can I insert a rant in the middle of your story, Georgia?
Go ahead.
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay. Like one of my least favorite phrases in the history of humanity is this newly constructed phrase called apartment homes, where every crappy apartment, like the ones I live in, added homes at the end of the word apartment. So now they're nice in their homes. It's homey. How can you hate it? It's not a shitty apartment. It's an apartment
and a couple grand a month.
Yeah. This is a flying boat. No, it's not. We've had these forever, and it's really cool. But
it's a float.
Fly, for God's
sake.
It's
a hydrofoil.
Thank you.
It's a hydrofoil.
For it.
Yes.
Yeah. And those are really cool.
We're still missing out on the Transformer dreams that we were told would happen sometime in the 2020s. And I frankly want all my money back that I spent on cartoons and comic books, because y'all lied to me. Human ingenuity has failed us. But on the other side, you do have this pretty cool boaty floaty thing going on from Candela and Polestar.
And now they have a source of batteries. Although I don't know why. I don't know why these two, but like I said, electrify all the things. So in order to do that, you need batteries. So I'm glad to see they got them.
But to be serious though about it, in a lot of ways, one of the things that makes me wonder. Now, we do have the fact that the boat hull is out of the water, so that cuts down on the wear and tear, and it cuts the energy used by around 80%. It's smaller, it's lighter, it's less expensive, but it's smoother to ride in because it's not sitting on the water and it doesn't just go up and down like that. So much less vomiting. I'm
And you can have a conversation on board at normal volumes. You don't have to like shout at each other over the engine.
Because not
I
screaming at
just
each
figured
other.
out. I just figured out how Polestar benefits from this. Since they don't make their own batteries, now they can buy
Uh-huh.
bigger orders and get less price per unit.
Volume
Well,
discounts.
Yes.
I'm also thinking of the environmental benefits because one of the issues with heavy boat use is things like oil spills in the waterways,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
so
Less emission
contamination-
controls. Everything.
less emission controls. Not to mention our beloved manatees, which desperate sailors thought were mermaids. Getting hit by things like blades. Very
Yes.
dangerous for sea
Electric
life.
boats still have props though, so that part doesn't change.
They still have, but they're up higher.
They're up higher, and they can be jets instead if you want.
Yeah. So there's some positives going into this, and frankly, I think you're right, Casey. It is about electrify all the things, because when we're talking about electrification, we often do leave out a good portion of the other vehicles we use for entertainment purposes. And it's a lot better for a lake to have an electrified boat than for there to be a typical ICE engine boat going on out there.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, because the biggest impact the electric has is if the person is not minding the wake requirements, and they're just like making waves everywhere. But they don't have as much noise and stress on the wildlife. They don't have as much noise and stress on the humans that come to enjoy our natural resources. And it's like, for the most part, it's just better off for everybody, except maybe the person who bought its wallet. But after they get done with the maintenance, they'll be like, "Wow, I'm glad I didn't have to do my third engine overhaul for the fifth season. This is awesome. I just charge and
everything
go."
I've heard from people, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys own boats, but everything I've heard from people who own even small boats with motors is that there is just it's a huge money pit. And I'd like to hope that this is a much more sustainable option for a boat owner, that you don't need to have all that repair work done and all the engine work, because especially if you're talking about a saltwater boat, I mean, that gets in there and a lot of corrosion happening. So who knows? This could be a good thing.
Yeah, I like the idea. I don't know if hydrofoil boats are ever going to really take off as a thing, but the idea of electrifying all the things, take off. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll ever fly.
We'll get it sometime.
Patrick, seriously,
it'll
Thursday, folks.
You got to do
Oh wait, I think we got that.
Tip your waitress. Enjoy the meal. All right.
Exactly.
That's it. All right. Nice.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of the future of flying boats, let's go to Patrick for a story about another part of the United States that is desperately rushing towards the past.
Oh, yes. Okay. So this comes to us from the Ohio Capitol Journal, and it's titled 10 Ohio counties ban wind solar projects under new state law by Jake Zuckerman. So just read you a little bit of the thing and then my commentary and then hand it over to the panel. So at least 10 counties have passed resolutions blocking the development of new utility scale wind and solar projects within all or part of their jurisdictions. And more Ohio counties are considering similar rules. There was a 2021 law that gave counties veto power over renewable energy projects within their borders. But no similar veto power exists for fossil fuel developments. So this law just adds roadblocks to renewable energy projects and development. This law was passed over the objection of the Ohio Chamber of Commerce, which is typically a very conservative group. So this is just a lame attempt to maintain the status quo. It's an attempt to delay our future that's going to be free from fossil fuels. This area has been flooded with misinformation about renewable energies, like solar panels can leak lead or cadmium into the soil. Total BS. So it's really colored the community's view of this. I mean, ask somebody that lives in Cancer Alley whether they would rather live next to a solar farm or an oil refinery. I think that answer is pretty straightforward. So now I'm going into my commentary here. This is just a dumb move by a bunch of octogenarians that will not be around to pay the climate piper when the bill is due. Ohio is in the Rust Belt. They should be happy to have green collar jobs. And if they cling so tightly to the past, they're not going to have a future. We have one planet. We all share it. Global warming is a global scale problem. And to make this shift, it's going to require hard choices. We're going to have the political will in every county, city, state, country. And if we don't make those hard choices now, Mother Nature is going to make them for us without compassion, whether we are ready for it or not. Now, what's the panel think?
I think Big Utility wrote the law.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a classic story about current industry protecting what they already have and trying to slow down the evolution of people to get to a cleaner technology going forward because they can see that's going to hit their wallet. It's not surprising. A lot of these industries act in the same way. They're just protecting their wallets. It's just some of the excuses they use are just shockingly. It makes you wonder if anyone has an education to understand what these people are doing, because it's some of the excuses like the ones we've heard before about solar panels sucking up all the sun, like absolutely ridiculous claims.
Yes.
But the thing, okay, there's two things that Patrick, what you said, that jumped out at me. And one of the key things is that, yeah, there's one planet and we all have to live on it. And that right there is what they don't want. They don't want to share it. The problem is having to share it with people that you dislike means that in order to maintain the cognitive dissonance that's required to support these bills and push for these kinds of legislative reactions, means that, yeah, you're more than willing to believe bullshit, because the bullshit allows you to stay angry and hateful and opposed to things that would mean your life might have to change. You might have to consider other people. It's a huge issue that a lot of people don't often see as the core element of it. The core element is that if we actually have to share the planet, we might have to consider someone else. And that's what a lot of this is about. And yeah, industries do write them, but that's like saying, literally, it is somebody twirling a mustache with a big pit and a sign pointing down that says puppies at the bottom, and somebody walking over and going, I don't see a puppy, but somebody I don't like told me that there are no puppies at the bottom and I shouldn't jump into it. And I'm going to show them by jumping into this pit to demonstrate that I am going to believe that there are puppies at the bottom of this pit. And it doesn't matter how much it hurts me, how much it hurts the people I care about, how much it takes away the future from my own family, my own kids. I am going to jump into this pit, because some of this stuff is absolutely stupid. It's laughable on its face. There's more than enough expertise available. It is a willful alignment with lies in order to believe and not that you don't have to give up anything to have the life that you want to have. And it's sad to see. And this also speaks to what I tell people, that a lot of this stuff, they're more prepared than a lot of the people on our side of these things, of renewable technologies. These counties with their resolutions, they didn't waste any time. And you know why they didn't waste any time? Because they coordinate. Senate Bill 52 passed earlier this year, and I'm looking at it right now. I mean, it went in last year, October 11, 2021. And the reason why you have a whole bunch of these bills is that oh, this is coming down the pipe. We're working on it right now. Okay, let's get some resolutions passed. We saw the same thing, honestly, with all the rumblings on the pre-Roe versus Wade decision with the U.S. Supreme Court. These people are always prepared to take advantage. And oftentimes, the people who want sustainable energy and they want to have legislatures that support it are caught flat-footed because everything, you're right, it makes perfect sense to do this. This is clear, it's sensible, it makes perfect sense what you're saying, and there's a logical arguments and there's proofs that you're able to provide, and a child can understand it. And honestly, that's why we have so many young people who are involved in sustainable efforts and in all kinds of environmental causes, because children can understand it. You're not wrong. The problem is that the people who don't want it are more prepared, they're more active, and they understand one simple thing, that if they give any ground to change, societal change, that means opening up to other things. That's why you see things like, I forgot who it was, Denny's or whomever did like an Impossible Burger or Impossible Sausage.
It's called Cracker Barrel.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
when would you ever see me at a Cracker Barrel? But they did an Impossible Burger and people flipped out. Now, I
Why?
can tell you,
Because
don't order it.
Impossible,
Because
it
those
was
people are
vegetarian
freaks.
and vegan.
Because
Wow.
it's
Yeah,
something
it
new
was-
for somebody else to enjoy, and God forbid
Yeah,
somebody
and
else
it-
enjoys
and it-
something new that I didn't have when I was a kid.
Right, and
Wow.
it's also
sad.
because it's vegetarian or vegan, and that's
It's so woke.
not.
Wokeness is killing America.
Oh
But
man,
it's-
live and let
I'm not
live,
touching
people.
it.
Come on.
I don't even think they understand what woke means. I mean, oh, God forbid I consider somebody else's feelings before I just start running my mouth.
you
Well,
know,
it's not like they said we're taking like meat off the menu, right? It's like
Right.
No,
No.
they do not. It's
It was
just
not
additive. It was
anything.
one more thing you could pick.
It's just one more option, and it made them freak out, and that's the problem. And you're going to see this fight everywhere, and it's like, who would expect that to drive people up the wall? And yeah, and that's what's okay, Russell, but you're
It's
cynical.
progress. We don't like that.
Progress, but you see, what they see as progress is maintaining the status quo, and anything that lets somebody do something weird like not eat meat and enjoy just a freaking
Have they
burger.
ever read a dictionary? Because like keeping it the same doesn't equal progress.
But you see, that's the thing. They don't want it the same for you. They don't want you to have access. They only want all the access for themselves. So this is what's behind it. And once again, best of luck, Ohio. Best of luck to anybody who wants changes on that. What you got to do is you're going to have to show up to vote this, and in every election you possibly can, because getting those overturned, I mean, that's the county. So you're looking at whichever board of supervisors for each one, and you would have to take it. What they build up one brick at a time, you're going to have to take it down one brick at a time, unless you do a federal law.
As we say here often, especially Georgia says, you have to be politically active. You can't just assume because it's the right thing, it's going to happen. And especially at this level, it's a county thing. So you showing up there can make the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I would actually go back and I would study everybody's arguments. I've always said that they co-opt our language and our phrases, so you'll have things that are about clean air and clean water that when you read through it, it's like, this is the polar opposite of clean air and clean water. Well, go back and co-opt their argument. So if they're talking
Florida's
about
Protect Sunshine Act.
yeah, the Protect Sunshine Act, things like that, go through and co-opt the causes that actually motivate them. So definitely keep talking about the lack of jobs, keep talking about business development, talk about national security and how much it would prepare us for national security to maintain energy independence. Because unfortunately, when you talk about what is right, in the sense that, well, factually you're incorrect, even if you do it the nicest way possible, all they hear is you're a dummy, and that cuts off all communication. So in a lot of ways, you're going to have to sound like, hey, you're right. This is a really important issue. But you may not know that here's how having this improves that issue. So you sound like you agree, you make a conciliatory statement, and then you rephrase it using their words, take over their argument, and reformulate it for your cause. And again,
You've got some
keep
of the most
showing up.
fragile feelings.
Hey, some of us are just Fabergé eggs in life, just wandering through, but we have all the power of, honestly, a nuclear warhead to destroy
Yes.
sustainability and sustainable policy. So you just got to learn to tiptoe and tap dance around it.
There's a channel that I watched called the Street Epistemology, and this guy is incredible at getting people to change their minds. And he does it without ever asserting anything. All he does is ask questions and then rephrase what they said back to them, and they go, yeah, that is what I said, but hearing it like that, I'm not sure that and it's amazing how people can change their mind if you have a really good tactic.
All right.
Yep, best of luck to everybody.
I got nothing. Not much faith either. But yeah. Well, so bad news in Ohio. Let's go to maybe good news in Kentucky from Paul.
Yeah, so there was announcement I saw that they actually broke ground on an EV battery factory in Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is about as far away from Ohio and being Kentucky, even though they're adjacent states. So I guess the people in that part of Kentucky are a little smarter than the people near Ohio. But there is a company here. It's called Envision, which I'm not familiar with, but apparently is a Japanese lithium-ion battery company, producing 30 gigawatt hours, 2,000 jobs. Basically, by 2027, enough batteries to power 300,000 vehicles. And they chose that location because of the local university, the worker talent pool available, and I'm sure some healthy tax credits. But anywhere we can build EV batteries on U.S. soil is a great thing, and I wish them well.
Yeah. We need more batteries.
Yep.
Let's do it. We're
2,000 jobs,
need more
which
batteries.
are probably going to pay more than the Walmart down the street. And
yes.
Making
Hopefully, whoever inoculated the farmers against Rivian doesn't do that against this plant.
I got nothing there.
And maybe another example of the new bill starting to push people in that direction.
Yeah, because the U.S. suppliers need batteries, and if there's more options, more competition to choose from domestically manufactured batteries, that's a good thing.
They should have no problem selling those batteries because there's a whole bunch of different manufacturers that are looking for U.S. made batteries.
Mm-hmm. And they say they're 30% more energy dense than current technology, but I guess we'll see what happens. But it's a step in the right direction. What was interesting in the article that I read, they call it a gigafactory. So I think any battery factory is now called a gigafactory.
No. So it refers to the output. So it's at least one gigawatt hour of cells.
So it's a reference to the scale of the factory.
Okay. All right.
Man, can't wait till it goes the way of Scandal/Gate.
Well, they can't though, because it's using the scientific notation giga. So if they went with a kilo factory, then you would know it's a very small scale.
I want a Terra factory
in the grand scheme of things. Yes, exactly. The Petafactory,
Google factory,
the Exa factory,
the Yoda
we
factory.
have Google factories already.
The Yoda
Nerds. Wait.
That's all I got.
But yeah, interesting how two adjacent states are totally different on renewable energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about whose subsidy or whose tax break is being gored, isn't it? Which
and who's writing your laws?
Yeah.
People or the corporation?
Well, the same people are essentially in both states are writing the laws, but they're, one's willing to cut off their nose to spite the face. The other one's going, oh, yeah, you know what? Maybe this would be okay.
Exactly.
Let's go to Georgia for a little more good news, maybe even in Georgia.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really weird to talk about Georgia because then it feels like I have a real narcissism problem. But but this is not me, I swear. Okay. Hey, Senator John Ossoff, sorry. And he has huge fans, so I don't want his fans freaking out because I said Congressman. But Senator John Ossoff included a pretty cool thing that, especially for people like, I don't know, Patrick and Casey, who have solar homes, they might enjoy this. There's a new law that was included in the Inflation Reduction Act, and it was created by him, and it's to help expand manufacturing side of things with the Solar Energy Manufacturing for America Act, and that's coming from Senator Ossoff. So he's trying to create his added tax credits for all the major steps of production: purifying silicon, creating wafers for silicon, turning the wafers into energy cells, and then assembling that into the solar panel model, straight ready for installation. A lot of other credits tend to be for getting the panels together and onto houses. That's often where you had a lot of that, the manufacturing. But this is like the full, I guess you could say, nose to tail manufacturing process of your solar cell. So, and nose is somewhere.
That's good.
So this is his attempt to build that. And now what's great is that it passed. Georgia has actually been doing pretty well in solar job growth between 2020 and 2021. They had a 19% increase of jobs from 2020 into 2021. But you know what? Everybody else has increased so much that Georgia went down to number 14 in the country. So that's pretty darn cool. The Georgia Power is planning to add another 2,300 megawatts of renewable power by 2025, much of it solar. So the new plan would also help Georgia Power shutter much of its coal-powered plants and expand not just the solar facilities, but build 500 megawatts more of battery storage. So way to go, Georgia Peaches Ossoff. And that's at least some good news.
Awesome. I had some Chinese panels rejected at customs because of the ongoing lawsuits. So getting some more local choices will be welcome.
Absolutely.
I did like this article, and that's all great news. But there was one funny thing in there: is silicon without the E is the atomic element number 14. That's the one they meant, but they had silicone with the E, which is a polymer that's used in adhesives and lubricants and medical implants and all kinds of things. So that was a little funny.
You see those two interchanged all the time, and it's really embarrassing.
It's either on the solar panel or it's in somebody's breast. Whichever one it is, whichever one we mean.
Well, one of my daughter's fists, she has this toy. I call it the silicone knucks because it looks like brass knuckles the way she holds it and wields it.
All I'm going to say is, what are you giving your daughter?
So it's this thing that goes on her hand. It looks like a silicone brass knuckles, and it's got like a pacifier end, and it's got like these nubs you can chew on, and then she'll swing at you with it. And so I call her silicone knucks.
Make sure it's free of any chemicals.
Yes, indeed.
You're teaching her some skills early on. You might not want to teach her. That's all I'm saying.
Nobody taught her this. She's just violent sometimes.
You got to look inside for that one, Casey. I got nothing else to say. Well, thank you for that. Let's go to our final story tonight. We'll go to Patrick, who has I'll let Patrick tell the story.
Okay, we're running short on time, so I'll be quick. So this one is from the Stanford Social Innovation Review. It's titled "Time to Put the Fossil Fuel Industry into Hospice." It's by Andrew
Yes.
Hoffman and Douglas Eli. And the intro to the story is, if humanity is to survive the climate crisis, we must manage a just and orderly transition away from fossil fuels. The correct model for this is triage, euthanasia, and hospice. And I just thought that was a really interesting way to look at things. We do have to transition away from fossil fuels, but that has to be a managed transition. We just discussed how they're fighting tooth and nail to keep the status quo. And we can't just shut it down overnight. Society would collapse. So instead, you have to have a plan. And a transition plan is never easy. Going from the way things were to some new way requires changes, and that's not always comfortable. And so I just thought that this was a really interesting way to phrase it. The triage and hospice it was an interesting idea to me.
It's a delightfully brutal way of putting it, however
Right,
appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pull the plug on the fossil fuel industry.
There we go.
Man, ow.
Everybody's got a bit tonight, huh?
But we have to do it after we are no longer dependent on them for life support as a culture.
Right.
Yeah. It's a lot of letting go. A lot of letting go. And that's what the hard part is. People cannot.
Right.
Well,
not let it go.
look at Dodge making a big deal about their Charger. The last show on 464, who was it, Patrick? It was the stupid new Charger EV with the photonic zoom sound. So they even come up with some shitty trademark name. Like it's okay to be different. It's okay to change. This car goes fast. It's way more fun, and it doesn't make a loud noise. You can go zoom in your car. You can just go.
But the whole selling point, he said this, and it can still wake your neighbors. I'm like, what a jackass.
Yeah.
I like my sleep.
Is that a plus?
If you're a douchebag, you can still be one if you buy this.
Exactly. He knows his customer.
Exactly. And oh geez.
They'll probably sell them cars.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can wake your woke libtard neighbors with our new great
photonic sound. Yes.
Yeah.
It sounds like
it's going to be it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe we can pretend that. What if we think rolling coal is cool? Because remember, these are people who literally put smokestackers on their trucks to blow tons of pollutants in the air and burn extra gas on their gas guzzling trucks, which are already big, useless vehicles because half the time they're too damn shiny to actually be work vehicles, and just to annoy libs. And it's like, I'm not annoyed at all. Actually, I think it's hilarious because I think you're kind of dumb. But
I mean, when you see the little like they put the smokestack at the bed and it looks like they were trying to make it look like a semi truck. It's like, why not just buy a semi truck?
It just makes you wonder though, like, how are we supposed to get them to give this up and to stop being?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When will we stop rewarding antisocial behavior? When will we stop
to get them off?
Our worship of that individual right to be a dickhead wherever you want to be?
That's the thing.
Make it so right.
It gives you money. It gives you money. It gives you you find an immediate tribe that backs up everything. Being a dickhead unpopular again would be fantastic and it would probably help a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mark?
Some people are going to have to be grandfathered out of this, and that means they're going to have to die first.
Right.
Yes. Max Planck said science advances one funeral at a time.
Ow. Oh.
But it's true. We've seen it through history.
Mm-hmm.
It is true. I mean, there's a reason why the Israelites, God just said, you're going to wander a bit because I can't deal with you. A lot of people forget that. He basically was like, y'all need to like take this circuitous route, and I'm waiting for another generation. And And I've never in my life more understood and felt aligned with God in that moment. That's what I think about the fact that we're just kind of waiting for a bunch of people to just go, see ya later, next life maybe. And hopefully things are better for all of us. But we'll see what happens. Though I have to be hopeful. I think we can do this. I really do think we can do this.
I hope so.
I like that. Russell crossed his fingers. That is a hopeful sign from Russell. So let's end on a hope note.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a high note. And I want to start our shout outs with the person who is only visible by audio. Yes, I said that on purpose. Mr. Casey Green, broadcasting from the dark depths of South Dakota.
Yes, my mother pointed out in the family chat that the place we're at is called Public Shooting Area. I was like, oh, that's ominous.
Jesus.
Yeah, so we're about to get out of here.
Don't shoot the public.
Right. So over
Like,
here is youtube.com/Casey Green. You can find my stuff there. On Sunday, I'll be doing a chat, hopefully from the office, and I've got some pre-recorded content coming up. And part of the reason I'm here is I'm starting something new, and hopefully it takes off well. And when it does, you'll hear about it right here.
Thank you so much, Casey. Be careful, okay? And enjoy
I shall.
South Dakota. Like I
don't
said,
drive in the dark.
Well, too late.
Too late.
definitely see the Badlands while you're there. They're gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And Mount Rushmore, it's a 10-minute drive through National Monument. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry if we just lost listeners in South Dakota. Both of you will be replaced.
Right.
Oh,
I've heard
Russell.
it smaller. I've heard it smaller than they picture it to be.
Well, they just won't let you get close to it. It's like a mile away.
It's.
Oh wow! Really? Okay, that explains that.
Like I said, the Badlands and the Grasslands are way prettier.
Okay.
Way more fun. Great show titles, Patrick. Thank you for that. Yeah, I might have to. Let's go to Mr. Paul Guzik. Paul, it's a beautiful late evening in Boulder. What's going on?
And car market's starting to get a little bit better if you're looking to buy a car, but still got a ways to go. We sadly don't have any hybrids for sale right now, but we are seeing customers get new car deliveries, and that is freeing up used cars in the market. So hang in there if you're looking for a car. Pricing and availability will get better. And in the meantime, if your old car is broken and you're in Colorado, check out our shop at boulderhc.com. And we fix and repair, and we're fixing and repairing a lot of older cars these days because people can't afford to replace them. So.
Absolutely. And that's the smart decision right now, is to maintain what you have until the market adjusts to a more reasonable place, because it's a great time to sell a used car if you got one, not as good a time to buy one, used or new. Thank you, Paul. Do you see Paul? It's Boulder H or boulderhc.com. Your choice, right? Thank you. Mr. Coughlin, what's up with you?
I wanted to get you out there, if you're at this point in the video, to press that like button, to press the subscribe button, and to help us out by doing so. Doesn't cost you anything, and it would greatly help us at this end. Also, if you want to follow us through the week, you can follow us on all the social media platforms. Just look up What Drives Us. Just use the what. Where is it? It's over here, right there. Use the What Drives Us. Search on that. You can find us anywhere on socials and follow us throughout the week. Thanks very much.
We are so easy, and we appreciate your support. It costs you nothing, and it helps us enormously. Thank you, Mark, for that. Mr. Connor.
Hello, everybody. I am with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org. And I blog occasionally at carswithcords.net. Check that out. I have one on there right now about how solar's awesome, but battery plus solar is even better.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And do follow Patrick and support oeva.org, because I enjoy the news. And Patrick even sees my snarky comments once in a while on the Twitter feed. which is probably not all that pleasant for him, but I kind of enjoy it. So,
he loves
Casey,
it.
what are we looking at right now?
Oh, it's a sunset.
Camera.
There were trucks going by, and it looked pretty. And then by the time I got the camera up, the trucks were gone.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I was just, I wasn't sure what I was looking at. Well, last and certainly not least, Georgia McKenzie. It's all
Well,
yours.
you've been here for 55 minutes and 9 seconds exactly on the dot. So go on ahead, hit like, hit subscribe, because you obviously enjoyed this content and you want more of that in your face. Go on ahead and hit like and subscribe here. And while you're at it, head on over to the Tesla Life. Mark's got all the information for you happening with Teslas and industry, covers all the arcane points of stocks and things, deals and whatnot. Go on ahead and hit like and subscribe over there too. And then Casey's got all of your technical information. He's got all the DLCs that happen for your new Tesla, and he's going to show you exactly what to do to configure it into the Autobot of your dreams. That's why you're going to hit like and subscribe over there too, because the minute it starts to transform, you're going to be very happy that you did. Hey, don't tell me it can't happen, Hazy. I'm still holding out for it. Something has to be true from cartoons. So,
right?
And then, and if you're thinking about solar, carsrecords.net, because Patrick is definitely our guy who understands all the solar power information. Although he would be fascinated at the house I saw with solar, where I was basically like, what's holding up the roof? Because this is not a wall. But hey, he doesn't have to consider that. I do. It sucks for me. So sit down, read yourself some stuff over at carsrecords.net. And, I'm hoping that Casey, on his way back, he can stop in Colorado, have Paul check out his car, make sure it's ready for these long trips, because that's what he does right there at Boulder Highways. And if you're in Boulder, you know where to go to. Talk to Paul. He's got it for you. And if he ever gets anything for sale on his lot, you can buy it from him. So then he'll be back down to zero again. That's what he likes.
Yeah.
And what am I doing? Oh, if you just so happen to be one of the few rare people who listens to audio drama, we will be doing a listening party for Fast Track to 40. Hey, wait, give me that money. For Fast Track to 40 this Sunday. And anywhere you listen to Fast Track to 40, we'll have a link that you can sign up with Eventbrite. Yes, you will be able to listen with me and producers and maybe even some of the cast and ask me all kinds of questions like, hey, were you serious about the NFT bro in that dating scene? And I can tell you, boy, I actually went nice on that scene. That's how it was. So there you go, people. That's what's happening with us. And we are so glad that you hung around with us for a full hour and listened to us talk about sustainability issues. Hopefully we've inspired you and keep you informed. Back to you, Russell.
Thank you so much. And do check out Georgia's podcast, Fast Track to 40. And let me know where the harsh parts are. Just give me the time code so I can go right to those and kind of enjoy them first and then go back and listen to the whole. Oh, Derek. Thank you, brother. That's beautiful. As always, I want to thank everybody in the chat room. Derek Ludwig, a huge thank you to you. JT, Bruce was in there. I think it was JT, Bruce, and Derek tonight, right? Yes. So thank you so much for being there. We love having you there. As always, I want to thank Michael Mannering for our theme music. Visit him at manthing.com. I also want to thank, as always, I got to tell you, I'm a little gobsmacked here. Casey Green from a car in South Dakota. I did not expect that. So huge thanks to Casey Green, Patrick Connor, Paul Guzik, Mark Coughlin, and Georgia McKenzie for being the best panel that doesn't get paid. Thank you for that.
The best panel money can buy.
Yeah, the best panel that money doesn't pay for. So, thank you all. And of course, we do the show for you. Thank you for being there every week. Tune in next week and find out what drives us. Good night. No theme music. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, no.
Yeah, my
Just rim shots.
interface is
Rim shots all the way down.
That's it. Ba-dum-bum.
Oh, I can do that.
We are
Stay
here.
positive. Test negative.
See ya. There you go.